Hello, my beautiful darlings, and welcome to another podcast with me, Nicky Alan. This is SOULSPACE, and if you want to know about anything that's out of this world, angels, I was thinking about the seraphim lately. Yeah, I'm thinking about the seraphim. We'll know about those, though, because if you stay on this journey, you'll find out what the seraphim are. But anything, the afterlife, mindfulness, well-being, just literally anything that doesn't exist on this planet is what I address and I love to bring to you. I will be shortly having some guests, but at the time being, it's just me talking to you. And you know what I love about me doing my podcast show is that I never know what I'm going to say. I never know what I'm going to address, and I never know how I'm going to start one. But I always look at themes, and the massive theme that's been going on at the moment is this: people waking up. Now, what do I mean by people waking up? It's quite a hard subject because all of you are going to have different things happen to you, okay? But I'm going to try and simplify it, as I do, keeping it real, and try and make it as easy to follow as possible. Now, let's go back to the beginning. When you incarnate onto this earth plane, you are a soul, an eternal soul. Most of you very old, because if you're listening to this, then you're kind of my age in soul group. Otherwise, you wouldn't want to listen to it. Okay? So this soul goes on and on and on, and we have to use meat suits to come down here. I call them meat suits rather poetically, to walk around the planet. Okay? So what happens is some of us, like me and my family, are born awake. That's the kind of word we use. Awake means we are aware of being connected to the esoteric fields. We're aware of being connected to celestial beings. We're aware of being connected to the source. You may call that God. You may call that the omnipresence, whatever God you follow, I don't know. And we walk a dual life of spiritual awareness and as being a human, going through human experiences. So what happens is when, as I've predicted, and it's my new book that'll be coming out, Earthwalkers, I predicted this 9 years ago through Dream State, when the earth goes into crisis because of the way we're treating the planet, when we are abusing each other, mankind's going into a complete tyrannical and overpowered nation, when animals are being abused, children are being abused, and it's all just kind of tilting from yin to yang and back again with no fine balance, we tend to have an awakening. Now, I believe, well, I know myself, but from my point of view, the Millennia Children started to bring that into account. Well, I'm sure I mentioned this in a previous podcast, actually, about ADHD, the title that humans give them, and autistic children. They are the ones that are trying to help awaken our compassion, our humanity, our humility. And so what happens is that the reason why this huge awakening starts to take place, and it's assisted by the Schumann resonance, which I have spoken about on my YouTube channel, give it a look to save me talking about that now. The Schumann resonance is basically the heartbeat of the universe, and I feel it's beating louder and it's waking more people up down here so that we can try and sort humanity out. We can't do it as one. And so they're starting to create a network, which, again, as I say, this was all told to me 9 years ago. Starting to create this network of people that are more spiritually minded. And no, we can't change the world, but we can change the views of our children. We can nurture our children through our own learnings and through our own teachings to bring them forward as the next generation that can save this planet. Because if we carry on the way we're going, either the nuclear button's going to get pressed, or Archangel Ariel will just say, do you know what, I've had enough. You know, you're killing the planet and I don't want you here anymore because you don't care. And it will get flooded or whatever happens. I'm not being biblical here, but let's face it, everything's in crisis, isn't it? We've got, politicians being exposed, tyranny, all of these, especially in the UK, all of these stupid things that they keep imposing on us, these 15-minute cities and, being paid for low emission zones. It's just getting crazy. The fact that they put energy bills up, the fact that we are trying to hold on to a financial stability that is being taken from our hands as we speak. And it's like, this thing that's come out recently about they're not going to have as much cash in the cash machine, so you have to use your cards. So we'll be, these prisoners of digital currencies, all this stuff happening. And lots of people put it down to the wacky conspiracy theorists. But do you know what? Just open your eyes and you can see it happening in front of you. I absolutely know we're going to end up having some form of war against, governments, civil stuff going on, where we're going to have massive outbursts of people saying no more. They're already doing it with the ULEZ cameras, aren't they? They're ripping them down, yay, and saying no more. We're not paying for low emissions 20 miles from London. It's ridiculous. So, there's an uprising coming in human nature, and with that beautifully comes the awakening. And the reason I'm bringing this up this week is because I always look at trends in emails, and I know that is a message from the universe of something I need to address. Okay. So this week I have had nothing but, am I mad? What is going on? Why have I been tried and tested? Why am I hearing this? Why am I seeing that? Why do I suddenly feel different? And I'm like, you're waking up, darlings. You're waking up. And incredibly, my Prism Living course, which is a spiritual development course, it gets you on a path of spirituality. It helps you deal with mindfulness, eradicate shadows, shows you how to acknowledge angels, connect with esoteric beings, change your chakra balance. It's a huge 7-week online course that takes you through waking yourself up. So at the end of it, you can live a more spiritual life. And there's been an influx of people, bang, 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 like joining it. I'm like, bloody hell, I haven't even advertised it. And it's people just wanting to find out what the hell is going on. So I'm going to tell you. The easiest thing for me to do, first of all, is identify people that have got no clue that they are about to awaken. Okay, you've got no clue. You just think you're a normal human being. You don't really believe in anything. But I'm going to put you through a few characteristics, a few traits of who you are as a spiritual person, as a soul. Okay. And if any of this makes sense to you, then potentially what I'm going to tell you next is going to really, really help you. Okay. So let's have a look at it. When we are older souls, as you most probably know, if you listen to my YouTube channel and you've listened to other podcast shows from me, we normally, as we get older in our souls, we normally create harder challenges down here. Okay, so a lot of us are going to have massive health issues, which I'm going to go on to a bit more in a minute. But we create really hard obstacles for ourselves and really hard experiences and challenges, because it's like establishing another notch on our soul. So when we go back up and have a cup of tea with someone or a cocktail, whatever floats your boat, and we say, what did you do in your last lifetime? And they go, well, funny you should say that. I did bugger all. And they go, oh, so you're not ascending very far with your soul cluster. What about you? Oh, we had a murder in our family. Oh, when I went through cancer and I survived it, and I did this and I lost my house and I did that. And they're like, oh, yeah, we're ascending. We want to go up to a higher plane of existence and knowledge. And so that's what it's all about. Don't ask me why, because I really sometimes on a bad day don't give a flying shit about soul ascension, because I think sometimes you're taking the piss out of my life, whoever you are. And then I realise it's me that wrote the bloody life plan. So, it's just, you get a bit, really. But when you see the bigger picture, darlings, you'll understand it a bit more, I hope. So this is what I'm here for, to make it easier for you, to lend that hand out for you to grab, to say, look, let me show you the way. So these are the sort of things, these are sort of traits of an old soul that's close to waking up at this point. You will feel like you have never fitted in ever. Okay, you will feel like you're most probably the last person that was picked, when they have to pick teams for sports day. You feel like you either dress or you can't really keep on trend with all of the peers around you as a child. You may have been subject to being bullied because you were different in some way. You most probably also feel as an adult you still don't fit, and either you end up in a codependent relationship because you're trying to fit and camouflage yourself under the guise of your partner, or because you can't create your own unique identity. And so rather than be lonely for the rest of your life, you like what someone else likes, you do what they do. You kind of morph yourself into a normal person, right, a muggle, so that you can at least have a partner by your side. Okay, Lots of people do it. On top of that, you've got the empath traits, which I'm sure I've already spoken about. Again, look up on my YouTube channel if you want to see all the descriptions and all the, the highlights of being an empath. You also will choose someone that you also need to save, though. And this is so frustrating because I've been there so many times with this. So ordinarily, they will have addictions, or they will have issues, or they will have trauma. And part of you wants to help save that soul in this lifetime. And so you end up with the wrong person that isn't in your soul cluster and waste quite a lot of time on them. You either stay with them for the whole of your lifetime, and this is where it gets a bit complicated. They could be honouring a soul contract with you, but more often than not, you've gone against free will and stayed with someone you should never have stayed with. And it's, my God, it's so common, it's ridiculous. And I want to talk about that later on with the awakening. Actually, let me write that down because I'm sure I'll bleed and forget. Let's face it, menopause and ME, I'm just buggered, and let's face it. So let me just write that down so I don't forget to mention that in a minute, because it's important. As I said to you, I don't know what I'm going to say next, so I have to make notes to back it up sometimes. I'm only human. Well, I'm not really. I'm an ethereal soul. So anyway, you end up with the wrong partner. You never fit. And you tend to, and even now, you'll tend to blend or spend time with people that are older than you, because the people your age just bore you. They don't give you enough stimulation, because have you heard that term, an old soul? Oh, that baby's an old soul. Do you know what I mean? And this is exactly what you are. And so people your age who are perhaps on a different soul level, you just don't want to mix with them. You find that more mature conversations, more mature outlooks on life fit the age of your soul. Okay, you will find that dealing with diet, food, alcohol can also be an issue for you as well. You either overeat, and the reason for this, and Doris Stokes was brilliant about this. She said about this, she actually said to my granddad as well, is that lots of mediums tend to be overweight because they just subconsciously connect with, or their higher self connects with their soul, and they need to protect themselves from people around them. Right, and they don't think I'm going to munch a Mackie D's just to keep that person away from me. But what they do is they just naturally need to have a barrier between humans and them, or human situations and them. And so they tend to be overweight to create this fat barrier, like a physical barrier from other people, believe it or not. Also, they tend to have addiction problems themselves, smoking, drinking. They don't necessarily have to be out of control addicts, needing AA, NA, AA, all the rest of it. But they will need to watch their intake because they're looking for the next high. The reason being is their soul still remembers what it feels like to be light and free and completely powerful and connected to the universe. There is a memory of it in your soul area. And so when you're down here clad in this meat suit, I always see it, and I always use this analogy. You'll know if you've listened to my other stuff and read my books, right? You'll know that when you're down here, you're in a different atmosphere, just like when you go scuba diving. So you have to put scuba diving kit on, right? But what I see our meat suit is like, do you know the old-fashioned diver suits with the big giant round helmets and the big weighted boots? That's how I see our body. Right, and the problem with that is that it lowers and makes our energy more dense. So we try and find a buzz. So lots of people will get dopamine issues. This means that, one, it could be fed by addiction. Normally food's a big one, cigarettes are a massive one, well, and alcohol, to be fair, anything, gambling, sex, whatever it is. Sex, not so much, because that involves another human. We tend to go for, empaths, mediums, people that are awake, people that are more spiritually inclined tend to go for more one-to-one, addictions. Okay. Leading on from that, most of you who are listening, tick those boxes, boys and girls. Most of us also will have mental health issues. The reason being is that we get so depressed being down here in this dense dump. Now we just want to go home. And I swear to you, and if you're listening, I'm not going to say your names, girls, but even 2 emails this morning were is there something wrong with me? Because I sometimes wish I just had cancer so I'd have an excuse to go home because I haven't got the courage to do it myself. I just want to go home. Right. And this is what made me think I need to do this podcast today. I was going to do a short YouTube video, but it's not even going to serve the purpose. I need to do my show on it. So I said to absolutely not, listen out for the podcast because I will answer everything you're asking me. So people do have bouts of depression, or they just got depression their whole lives. Bipolar is a massive, massive sign as well. The other sign, just being a bit intimate, is gynae issues with the ladies. I have no idea why this is. I remember doing a questionnaire at the Arthur Findlay College, which is a college for psychic studies based in Stansted in Essex, because I kept talking to people who had the same problems, and I did this questionnaire and it came back about 98% everybody saying yes, because I identified all these traits, all of these symptoms, and I thought, I wonder if everybody's got them. Bugger me, it all came back really high. Literally 2% didn't, but that was mostly because a lot of it was about the gynae stuff. For some reason, women who are awake or have old souls or are spiritually inclined or empaths have problems with gynae issues, whether it's endometriosis, problems having babies, fibroids, you name it. If there's anything to do below the belly button, then it's an issue. I asked this once from Julianus, who kindly turned me over to Catherine. They're not, I don't know the words for both sexes, I don't know, but he's like, oh, Catherine will answer that. I'm like, well, hang on a minute, you're supposed to be just these guru people, not worry about who's got willy and who hasn't. Anyway, I'm being a bit rude this time. Yeah, I am. Oh well, it's just me. So anyway, I like to make you laugh as well, and thank you, because you give so many of you just brighten your day. It makes my world to get your messages to say how much you enjoy these shows. Anyway, I digress as usual. So Catherine said that, and she aligned me with Archangel Ariel. And Archangel Ariel, she's not only the archangel of the animal kingdom and the planet, she helped dawn the planet with seraphim. I keep mentioning seraphim. I'm going to have to bring them up. Perhaps I'll talk about angels next time. And she basically also deals with base chakra stuff. So if you want your parking angel, it works every bloody time for me. Right? I just go, oh my God, and I just visualize the space. So please, can you make it so? They work every time, I'm telling you. I call in Archangel Ariel and Raphael. Raphael, yes, he's a healer, but he also is the Archangel of safe travels. And so I think, I'm in a car, I'll have him in. I'll have any bugger in as long as I can get a parking space. So it's either him or Archangel Ariel. Now, Archangel Ariel, as I've said, she not only, dawns the planets and does all sorts of things with the planet and animal kingdom, she deals with base chakra stuff, right? Now, I spoke to Catherine and her. Base chakra stuff is stuff you have to do as a human, like eat, sleep, have sexy times, have problems with bills, finance, painting your house, direct debits, all that kind of rubbish, right? So the thing is that our soul doesn't like doing the base chakra stuff. Doesn't like it, right? And so it's like, oh, I just want to go home and be an ethereal being. I can't be doing this. And so what happens is there's a vibration that can go amiss in the base chakra, reaching up to the sacral chakra, the orange chakra. And when this is kicking off, I feel, and this is what Catherine showed me as well, is that I feel that this is creating some sort of problem that stops the natural flow of energy around the reproductive area. And likewise for men, I feel that they get lots of problems with prostrate. And my brother openly talks about this, so I don't mind saying about it. Richard, my brother, medium, right? He has massive issues around the area, and I say that's what it's to do with. On top of that, with the eating, bowel problems, IBS, digestive issues, these are all problems. You're like, oh, this is wonderful. I love being spiritual, but it's true. This is what happens. These are the traits of who you are if you are unawakened spiritual being that is due to be awakened. Hey guys, I just wanted to let you know that I have now got a new pop-up that comes up when you go to my website. What is that pop-up? That pop-up is for you to subscribe to my email newsletters that go out weekly. They are your pass to everything that I have to offer. I give you loads of offers. Now and then I'm going to be giving away lots of little treats for you. It also gives you a chance to understand anything new that I'm bringing in, whether it's my new book, a new course. Currently, I obviously have my 10-hour tarot course and my Prism Living course, but I will be adding to these and you'll be the first to know. It's the same with things like my products, with the QR tarot cards, with my guided meditations, my books, the audiobooks. It's all there in the shop, which you've got exclusive access to, and you will be getting discounts as well. So what is there not to like? Pop up on that pop-up, fill your details in, and you can be a subscriber. As I've reading it right back to childhood again, some of you will forget your abilities, and your mum might have said, oh yeah, when you were 2 you spoke to an imaginary friend. Some of you may just shy away from it and don't want to know. Some people just fall so densely into the base chakra crap and end up in such a bad relationship they just lose their soul plan and just go back up and have to do it again. Whereas some of us stay awake, like me. And a lot of you. Some of you remain awake, but you've got too much to do as a mum, or you've got a career, and then suddenly you come to me and say, my God, all this is kicking off. You know, what am I going to do? And I go, lovely, this is what you need to do. So I'm going to take you on to the next stage in a minute. So these are the traits. They're not great. They're not brilliant. However, there are the positive traits to it and ways to alleviate these symptoms that you get. Remember that your intuition, your soul compass is stronger than most muggles on the planet. So you will know when you make a decision and there's a little mouse in there saying, don't do it, and you do it and it goes wrong. And you say to yourself, I bloody knew it. I knew I shouldn't have done that. That was such a mistake, but I knew it. How many times have you said that to yourself? Because you're pushing away your natural connection to source. You're pushing away your intuition and going with free will or ego-based decisions. And when I say ego, I don't mean I'm in a big flashy car and I've got loads of money. I mean ego is in self-doubt, non-belief, no belief in yourself, lack of self-love. And this is what happens. We then get into a stage of hating ourselves, which then can lead again to another types of eating disorders. I'm too fat, I'm too thin, anemia, overeating. It's just a real big problem that you need to master and get hold of, right? So I'll go on to all of how we leave it in a minute. Don't panic. And so we have all of this maelstrom of crap going on in our lives, and we think, how the hell are we going to get out of it? And you think you're going mad. Okay? And so, you go to your GP, he'll just give you a load of antidepressants that don't help you, or painkillers or whatever it is, because most of us end up so tired from fighting against the chakra systems and being down here and connecting with source, we end up with chronic fatigue. Hello, ME. Hello, fibromyalgia. Hello, MS. Hello, diagnosis with cancer. And this is what we go through. We are survivors of chronic illness, Lyme's disease, Hashimoto's. Yes, aren't we the lucky ones, right? So we get all this as well, and we have to fight it. Oh my God, the percentage of my followers that have chronic illness, especially ME and fibromyalgia, is ridiculous. The ratio is ridiculous to healthy people, to non-healthy people that are in my following. It's because you're all spiritual, you're all old souls, and you hate being in a meat suit. It's as simple as that. So what happens is that you get to a stage where you will either make the decision to become awake, or it will happen without your choice. So recently, it will happen without your choice are the people in the hundreds that have come to me in the last couple of months saying, what the hell was going on? Okay, so let's go through that. Now, remember, I'm not going to start going over the signs of spirit because I've done that in podcasts a couple of times ago. So have a look at that one. I think it's something about what happens when we die. So I'm not sure. But look through our podcast. That gives you all the list of what signs to look for, because you will get a massive upgrade in sensing spirit people. right? They will start coming, they'll be your family, but they've been there anyway. The fact is, you'll start getting heightened to their presence. Okay, this is your awakening starting to take place. So we're not talking about the ones that are awake and go, right, I'm going to deal with it now. I did Reiki healing ages ago. I did a bit of mediumship. I'm going to jump back into it. We're not talking about them. We're talking about the people like, what the hell's happening? Am I going mad? Right? So that happens. They then start getting exposed to synchronicity. And they keep seeing signs everywhere. And then they think that they're making it up and that they're looking for the signs and that they've got some sort of OCD. Because I keep looking for 222. No, you don't. It keeps putting it right in front of you. That's what's happening. It's another way of either the angels bringing a message through numerology, your guides. You have to work that out as you go along. You start feeling a bit paranoid because you feel like people can hear your thoughts because... shocker, you can hear theirs. So you start talking to people and you'll say, oh God, I wonder if she's like having a baby or thinking of having a baby. Do you know what? I know it's really weird, but I'm thinking of having another baby. You think, oh my God, I just thought that. Or you'll know the second before something comes out of their mouth what they're going to say. And it shocks you. You know if a day is going to be good or bad. You know if you're going to go into a situation, whether you're going to come out of it the winner or the loser. You just know. Your intuition is so strong and your psyche, spidery senses start heightening to a massive degree. Okay? The other thing is as well is you'll start looking at your life and the people around it. So I'm just going to shorten this bit. First of all, and say, if you want a direct pass, have a look at something like my Prism Living course, because as I said, it helps you to deal with the shadow side, deal with your relief and your reality and your belief systems. It helps you to open up to this source that you're already really open to. It's just your ego and your chakra systems closing it down at the moment. All right, your brain, your mind and your mindset and your energy is blocking it, but it's always been there. You just got to turn the switch back on. So what will also happen as well is you'll start looking at your life and observing patterns in your life of behaviour. You'll start thinking, is that person really for me? You may even leave the person that you would have been scared, absolutely clueless to have left the year before, but you're thinking, this isn't right for me. I need to move. I need to move house. I need to stop smoking. I need to stop drinking this much. Why am I eating this sort of food? Why am I always comparing myself to other people when I should be acknowledging, myself? Why is it that I wake up at a certain time, but then I push myself back to sleep because the alarm says I have to get up at this time? Okay. And so also you'll look at why there are so many dramatic people around you. So your friends will change. I can't believe how many friends I dropped a few years ago because I was going into a new stage of awakening, and I nearly went back to because I was bullied and abused, because most of us also are abuse victims. And I look back and I think, well, was it me? I did it. And I started almost jumping back into victim stage and blaming myself for my own pain. And then I thought, hang on a minute. No, I'm not prepared to put up with that anymore. I'm not prepared to put up with it anymore. I don't want to be treated like this anymore. I don't want you to speak to me like that anymore. Whereas before I just put up with it because it was another friend. Do you know what I mean? Don't put up with people. Walk away from them. But you are doing that in this stage of awakening. People have emailed me saying, oh my God, I don't talk to my mum anymore because she's like a narcissist, but I just don't do it anymore. Yeah, good. You're growing. You're waking up. Okay. Then feeling a sense of connection. You'll get a sense that you just know whatever you do is the right way and that someone's got your back. But I don't mean someone as in a body. Something has got your back. So it could be, it's just, it doesn't have to be, I believe in God, I believe in angels. You just know intrinsically that you're connected to some sort of source that you can't explain at the moment. You can't evidence it, but you just know that something is driving you to make the decisions that you're making now. And you don't know how or why, you just know. So it'll basically be, you just know that you've got to start going to spiritualist classes. You just know that you've got to move to this area. You just know that whatever you do, and I see the Fool card as I say that, 0 in the tarot, just literally taking that leap of faith, jumping off that cliff, knowing you are going to land well because some sort of higher power has got your back. It will just start growing in there and you'll just feel like you're not alone anymore. I never feel like I'm alone. If anything, I feel like I'm schizophrenic. I'm talking to all of them all the time. And so I just know, you know, and you just basically start to think, hang on a minute, I've got some good traits here. I'm not a bad person. I actually have had courage to walk away from my husband that's been treating me like a piece of pants for the last 20 years. I've had the courage to walk into a spiritual church on my own. I've had the courage to say, yes, I would like to learn something new and stretch my ability, whether it's taking on a course in university, whether it's taking on a healing course, whatever it may be. And you start to think, actually, I'm looking pretty good now. Because what happens is the more you come away from your physical and human attachments, the more you start realizing the beauty within. And the more your soul comes through that egotistical layer and starts fusing with your auric field, you will sparkle. And there are so many people that say to me, my God, what are you taking? What do you eat? What do you put in your face? Because they say you look younger every time I watch you, or, you know, you look brighter, you look better than you were 20 years ago. I agree, because most probably 20 years ago, I drank too much. I ate the wrong things after a show. I was miserable. I had my demons. I was in the wrong relationship. And my life was pretty shit. The only good thing was I was serving the spirit world and giving you the spirit world. And that kept me going. I didn't give a shit about myself. I just wanted to serve you. Completely wrong energy. But now you will recognize other spiritual people because they will shine like you. Their eyes will be bright and there'll be deep pools of knowing that when you see each other, you almost feel like you're attracted to them, even if it's the same sex, because you are aligning yourself to that soul. And it's like, oh my God, I recognize you. Hello. And the other soul's going, oh, hello, you're another one. Yay, we're connected. And this is how we find soulmates, not necessarily spousal soulmates, you know, girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever. It's a beautiful thing to connect with like-minded people. And that's when you start saying, oh, did you have this in your past? So did I. I did this. So did I. And you'll start realizing all of the symptoms I've brought up, you both have. And what you'll end up doing is you will want to start finding an inner peace within yourself. Right. And you'll think, hang on a minute, I'm loving a bit of this. I'm loving the fact that I feel like I'm using my intuition more. I'm loving the fact that I feel connected. And I'm loving the fact that I'm forgiving myself. But I need more. What do I do next? Because you want to start being more kind to yourself, but also to others. Perhaps you want to give to your community. Perhaps you want to be more mindful of it. OK, so what do? First of all, you start wanting to seek your truth. So seeking your truth is like being your truthful self. So do you remember I used to do it all the time, people please, and do everything for everybody? Yeah, that's not a problem. I'm thinking, oh my God, I'm knackered. I go, no, I can't do that. I'm really sorry. Yeah, but if you don't do that, oh, well, OK, thank you. But I'm owning myself. I'm owning my energy. I'm owning what I want to do. I'm owning my boundaries. Never, ever did I do that in my life. Ever until my 5-year journey, which you'll know about in my book, Me, Myself and I. Okay, you will start getting seeking your own truth and seeking your own authenticity. So you'll start saying, which I did, which was so beautiful and freeing, when after I surrendered and said, right, bring it on, you know, and I went through this spiritual boot camp. One of the most beautiful things was I realized what I liked. Because I always liked whatever my partner liked, so I could fit in. I always liked what my friends liked, so I could fit in. But suddenly, I didn't even know what dress sense I liked. I didn't know what films I liked to watch. I didn't know what I liked to do in my spare time. I had no clue. The one thing that kept completely on the level was diving, because that to me is being in the spirit world, surrounded by water, the conduit of the spirit world, and being away from humans, technology, and just mere nature. Oh my God, it is an absolute blessing on this earth, that is. Oh, I love it. If I could live in the water, I would. I had to be a mermaid in a previous life. So you find yourself, I found I liked war films and action films and CIA and FBI, you know, conspiracy films. I used to bloody love them. I found that I liked to paint. Not as in, oh my God, I wish I was an artist, but paint fences, paint things, paint pots. I just sit there, and I found it really therapeutic when I was well enough and wasn't in enough pain. I found that I liked to dress just like a surfy girl, just literally shorts and flip-flops, not skirts to impress the boys, not push-up bras to make me look good. I just wanted to be me. And I remember the first time that I ever did a YouTube video, I was sitting in my bed with no makeup, I hadn't brushed my hair, and I really didn't give a flying pants, a flying fluff, as I say, because it was me. I was real, I was authentic, and I really, it's not that I didn't care, but I didn't reflect on what other people may think, because it's none of my business what other people think of me. Remember that. What other people think of you is none of your business. Who cares what people think of you? As long as you have compassion, kindness, humility, love, self-love, respect, boundaries, who cares about the other people around you? And you will find that they will drop like flies. As soon as you wake up or start practicing mindfully, making yourself a more spiritual being, they will drop away from you because you'll be resonating way higher than them. You'll also then get the intuition to work on your addictions, or you'll have this courage to walk into an AA meeting, or you'll start saying, you know what, I'm having too much caffeine, I'm going to stop that. And you'll start realizing what harms your body. I don't really want to eat that. No, I don't want too much red meat. I've had one lot this week already. No, I want to be a vegan. No, I just want to be with my cat and not humans, right? You'll start making these life-changing and life-affirming decisions. And it's absolutely beautiful. Do not fear it. Go with it. Then what happens is you want more, because you're suddenly getting these signs, these synchronicities, and all of this stuff's happening around you. And you could have sworn you saw something fly in the corner of your eye, but you're like, oh my God, I don't know if I'm scared, I'm excited. What should I do? You're suddenly dreaming of your granddad again and your dad every night. You're suddenly seeing lights and energy in your garden and in your house. You're thinking, what is happening? This is what's happening, ladies and gentlemen. You're waking up. So what do you need to do next? First stop cafe is meditation. You can do all of the courses in the world, but you laying down, either doing a guided meditation, that's why I do so many, covering so many aspects of spiritual development, is because some people are so busy still trying to sort themselves out mentally, physically, spiritually, that they can't provide the thought and the intention to do a focused meditation. So you just pop me in, or whoever floats your boat, okay? You pop us in, press play, you lay back, and you let your soul do the rest. And Visiting Heaven's got to be my highest downloaded meditation of all time, because literally I take you up to the Crystal Palace and for you to go and see your loved ones. Everybody can do that, but everybody thinks you need a medium for it. No, you don't. And if you're awake, my God, it's even easier. You'll feel like you want to go to a spiritualist church. You may feel a massive want to join healing, do a healing class so that you can heal people, and you will find your forte. You might start healing and then start getting messages, and then you turn into a medium. Whatever it is, you feel that you've got to suck every bit of psychic knowledge into your system as much as possible. It's totally natural. With that, you will want to be near water, nature more. You'll want to plug away and lose attachment from human needs, ecosystems, technology. You will feel you'll need to have your space before you feel like you're being strangled. So you find your space so that you can connect with nature, Archangel Ariel, the divine source, whatever it is. Because we are nature, we are light, we are energy, and that's where all of that hangs out, by the sea, in woodlands, in parks. You will want to do that. You'll start wanting to do things like practice gratitude, again, all part of my Prism Living course. You want to slow down, you want to laugh, dance, sing, share time with the people that you adore, get rid of the people you don't. Encourage it and do it. Because the more you do these sort of practices, the more you will realise how awake you are. And the more awake you feel you are, the stronger the need to get yourself even more awake. So taking on these spiritualist classes, writing out your soul journal, writing out your gratitude, being mindful, trying not to hurt yourself as much as possible. And let's face it, most of us, we'll be stuck with chronic fatigue. Who cares? Because you know what? As part of my plan, I suppose, is that I have this condition because I can say, do you know what? I've got this condition. It sucks, but I've never been so at peace with myself. I never loved myself so much that I do in this moment. And I sit here and talk to you in this podcast. Yes, I get peed off. You saw my last newsletter. I couldn't go and see Robbie Williams, my chakra thing. And what did I do? I didn't turn to feeling sorry for myself. I didn't turn to telling everybody that I was a victim of my own circumstance. I didn't moan about the fact that I've got an incurable condition. I went straight into my Prism Living course. I went straight into my healing meditation. I went straight into my soul journal and wrote five pages. And then I had an early night and woke up feeling magnificent. Done. Base chakras, you will not beat me. Human energy, you will not resonate and beat me. Don't allow it to drag you down. So what I'm trying to say to you is that more people are waking up because there is a crisis on the planet. The more humanity, humility, the more spirituality that we have resonating through the planet, resonating through our children and everywhere else that we go, the more chance we've got of bringing in a new generation of people that will want to change the planet, will want to stop animals being harmed, will want to stop all of the powers that be changing laws willy-nilly, trying to control these people, the tyranny of the politicians. Look at someone like Russell Brand, right? Look at him. He's gone, from me, he's gone like from zero to hero. Yes, he's very funny. He was doing films and he's doing his stand-up. Then obviously he's been through his heroin addiction. Look at him now. Just watch him. Just watch him. He's so awake now. It's incredible. And it's not just about him working his steps as an addict. He's gone above and beyond that now. He's woken up. He's so open to the universe. He's so open to teaching the masses. And thank God he's got such a big platform, because that's exactly what he's doing. You can all do this. So whether you're someone that has absolutely no idea whatsoever, it doesn't matter. Still start these practices. If you did have a little dabble in it and then you were a mum or you had a career and you're coming back to it now, do the practices. And if you are awake now, push yourself into whatever service it is you feel you need to do. Meditate, listen to your intuition, listen to your soul, and let the divine source lead you to where you need to go to carry out what needs to be done to help this planet stop being in such crisis. So if we don't do this, if we don't listen to the calling that the universe is sending us, if we don't realise that we need to wake up to save this planet, then we haven't got very much of a long time here. Interestingly, I was shown this, actually I keep saying 9 years, I think it's 7 years ago. I can't bloody work it out now, TikTok time as Julianne would say it. I wrote a book from a dream called Earthwalkers, which is now going to my editor as we speak, because I now feel like it needs to go out. And it's a prophecy of the last 7 years, but it actually is a fantastically magical fiction book. Cannot wait to get it out there to you. And it's all about the awakening of telling everybody, if we don't care, if we don't start listening to this inner magic that's been built in all of us, in every single soul on the planet, then we are heading for a disaster. Not yet. Don't start panicking. There's all these people online saying, oh, the world is night, all that. No, not yet. It's just now we're being given the yellow card. So let's take that yellow card, take it on board and go, right, this isn't going to happen again, because I don't want to get the red card. So have a look at my Prism Living course. That will help. By all means, go to other reputable people on here, online, listen to what they have to say, join your local spiritualist centre, start meditating, start looking at where you feel you need to be, whether it's healing, communicating, helping people, whatever it is. And all I'll say is think of the Fool and the tarot card and just go for it. We are all responsible. We are all here for a reason. But if you're being woken up, go with it and embrace it, because just one person connecting to a link of millions will change everything on this planet and turn it upside down, because the grand reset is coming and it starts with us being woken up. Until the next time, I really hope you enjoyed this show as much as I did explaining it all, keeping it real with lots of love. It's me, Nicky Alan.